Plays and Acting. Nietzsche on Tragedy. I have been reading Nietzsche on the origin of tragedy with the delight of one who discovers a new world, which he has seen already in a dream. I never take up Nietzsche without the surprise of finding something familiar. Sometimes it is the answer to a question which I have only asked, sometimes it seems to me that I have guessed at the answer. And, in his restless energy, his hallucinatory vision, the agility of this climbing mind of the mountains, I find that invigoration which only a tragic philosopher can give. A sort of mystic soul, as he says of himself, almost the soul of a Maenad, who, troubled, capricious, and half irresolute whether to seed or fly, stammers out something in a foreign tongue. The book is a study in the origin of tragedy among the Greeks, as it arose out of music through the medium of the chorus. We are apt to look on the chorus in Greek plays as almost a negligible part of the structure, as, in fact, hardly more than the comments of that ideal spectator whom Schlegel called up out of the depths of the German consciousness. We know, however, that the chorus was the original nucleus of the play, that the action on which it seems only to comment is no more than a development of the chorus. Here is the problem to which Nietzsche endeavors to find an answer. He finds it, unlike the learned persons who study Greek texts, among the roots of things, in the very making of the universe. Art arises, he tells us, from the conflict of the two creative spirits, symbolized by the Greeks in the two gods, Apollo and Dionysus, and he names the one the Apollonian spirit, which we see in plastic art, and the other the Dionysiac spirit, which we see in music. Apollo is the god of dreams. Dionysus the god of intoxication, the one represents for us the world of appearances, the other is, as it were, the voice of things in themselves. The chorus, then, which arose out of the hymns to Dionysus, is the lyric cry, the vital ecstasy, the drama is the projection into vision, into a picture, of the exterior, temporary world of forms. We now see that the stage and the action are conceived only as vision, that the sole reality is precisely the chorus, which itself produces the vision, and expresses it by the aid of the whole symbolism of dance, sound, and word. In the admirable phrase of Schiller, the chorus is a living rampart against reality, against that false reality of daily life which is a mere drapery of civilization, and has nothing to do with the primitive reality of nature. The realistic drama begins with Euripides, and Euripides the casuist, the friend of Socrates, whom Nietzsche qualifies as the true decadent, an instrument of decomposition, the slayer of art, the father of modern science, brings tragedy to an end, as he substitutes pathos for action, thought for contemplation, and passionate sentiments for the primitive ecstasy. Armed with the scourge of its syllogisms, an optimist dialectic drives the music out of tragedy, that is to say, destroys the very essence of tragedy, an essence which can be interpreted only as a manifestation and objectivation of Dionysiac states, as a visible symbol of music, as the dream world of a Dionysiac intoxication. There are many pages, scattered throughout his work, in which Pater has dealt with some of the Greek problems very much in the spirit of Nietzsche, with that problem, for instance, of the blitheness and serenity of the Greek spirit, and of the gulf of horror over which it seems to rest, suspended as on the wings of the condor. That myth of Dionysus Zagreus, a Bacchus who had been in hell, which is the foundation of the marvelous new myth of Denis Loxeroy's, seems always to be in the mind of Nietzsche, though indeed he refers to it but once, and passingly. Pater has shown, as Nietzsche shows in greater detail and with a more rigorous logic, that this serenity was but an accepted illusion, and all Olympus itself but intermediary, an escape, through the aesthetics of religion, from the trouble at the heart of things, art, with its tragic illusions of life, being another form of escape. To Nietzsche the world and existence justify themselves only as an aesthetic phenomenon, the work of a god wholly the artist, and in this sense the object of the tragic myth is precisely to convince us that even the horrible, and the monstrous are no more than an aesthetic game played with itself by the will in the eternal plenitude of its joy. The will is Schopenhauer's will, the vital principle. If it were possible, says Nietzsche, in one of his astonishing figures of speech, to imagine a dissonance becoming a human being, and what is man but that? In order to endure life, this dissonance would need some admirable illusion to hide from itself its true nature, under a veil of beauty. This is the aim of art, as it calls up pictures of the visible world and of the little temporary actions of men on its surface. The hoofed cutter of Dionysus, as he leaps into the midst of these gracious appearances, drunk with the young wine of nature, surly with the old wisdom of Silenus, brings the real, excessive, disturbing truth of things suddenly into the illusion, and is gone again, with a shrill laugh, without forcing on us more of his presence than we can bear. I have but touched on a few points in an argument which has itself the ecstatic quality of which it speaks. A good deal of the book is concerned with the latest development of music, and especially with Wagner. Nietzsche, after his change of sides, tells us not to take this part too seriously. What I fancied I heard in the Wagnerian music has nothing to do with Wagner. Few better things have been said about music than these pages. Some of them might be quoted against the program music which has been written since that time, and against the false theory on which musicians have attempted to harness music in the shafts of literature. The whole book is awakening. In Nietzsche's own words, a prodigious hope speaks in it.